Hello everybody. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Happy Sunday. Welcome back to the weekend. I'm here. Kira's here. And I think I made up for my boo-boo from yesterday from the end of stream. I think. For me, where I am. For you, where you are. In certified local time zone. Hello. 100 biddies. Oh, thanks, Marome Hughes. Appreciate it very much. How's everyone doing today? Finally crawled my way up to 20 today. Congrats, Saga. Good morning from the road to Regina. Good morning. What was your boo-boo? At the end of yesterday's stream, I meant to purchase a runecloth bag for somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 gold, and I accidentally purchased a pattern for runecloth bags for somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 gold. And I'm not a tailor, and oops. But I think I sold it. I picked up all my mail just now. I forgot to scroll through it, but I had like no gold before I picked up my mail, and now I have 7 gold. And I think I had maybe 3 gold worth of mats and greens, so that tracks. And also it's gone now, so I think I must have sold it. It is not in my bags. Yeah, those are first aid recipes I'm carrying around for later. It's not in my bags. And I'm richer than I was, so I think that we're okay. I think we're all good. I reposted it for basically what I bought it for, so if anything, we're good. We're all right. I wanted to, before I head back to start questing again, first of all, drink some coffee. Second of all, I need to show you how I look. This is the gear that we're in right now. The hat is a helmet. We have a helmet now, which is good. I don't know if it's the most flattering hat she's ever worn. That's what peak performance looks like. That. Jacob, thank you for the 26-month resub. Yeah, so it's an 8 spirit, 8 stam hat. I bought a hat of the whale. I am favoring anything with stam because stam saves lives. I've got a neck on now, which is 7 int to kind of make up for... make sure I have some int. My shoulders also 9 int, straight into shoulders. We've got now that I have 7 gold and I have nothing to. I've done my training until level 30. I trained the spells that I wanted, so I have banish now. If I need to CC a demon or an elemental, then I'm all ready for that. I got my new ranks of the spells that I actually use, so I'm kind of good on gold. I'm not saving for a mount or anything because I'm a warlock. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just check the auction house and see if there's anything else that I can buy that would be like a pretty meaningful upgrade. Has any of my gear fallen behind? I think it's the bracers and the pants that require level 23, and my boots require level 24. We are 28 now. I am freshly level 28 at the very beginning of it. Well, let me just see if there's anything like juicy, but I don't want to drop too much stam. I don't want to trade too much more stam for int. I think that I would prefer to keep stam. So I was saying bracers, cloth wrists. This is how I check for gear upgrades. I search for the specific slot. I sort to uncommon, and then I filter to usable, and then I sort by item or by level, and then I just check the top level things first. So currently my bracers have 5 int and 2 stam. Those are pretty cheap. They are 6 int and 3 spirit. These are 8 int but 3 strength. And then you've got like, I could do Fiery Wrath. I have a couple of Fiery Wrath pieces, and I do fire spell damage via my Immolate, but that's it. I don't even have Searing Pain because I chose not to train it. I'm wanding for fill anyways. I'm not spending my mana on that, so I don't know if I need any more Fiery Wrath, even if it's like a really good deal. Eagle stuff is ideal, but Eagle stuff is highly marked up because of how ideal it is. 4 int... 2 stam, 5 int. I think honestly these bracers are all right relative to that. What are we saying about my belt is upgraded. Yeah, I've got a fire to belt. My rings are about as good as they were gonna get for now. What else did I say I wanted to look into replacing my pants? Let me see. I've got fire spell depth pants as well, but it's kind of tough to say exactly how much it's doing. We could get whale pants with just 8 stam on them, and I might do that. Or I could even spring for eagle pants. I'll do that. Those are freshly within my bracket. I will spring for those. I will wear those for a while. I'll even buy them an armor kit. Can I buy a heavy armor kit? Maybe a couple of them? What are those worth? Yeah, I'll buy a stack of 4. What do these do? 24 extra armor. Yeah, okay. And then, ooh, consume. So I have some firepower and some wisdom. The problem with consumes is that the baby ones are like so not relevant anymore to my level. But they're the only ones that are like remotely affordable. Mighty Troll's Blood at 26. You know what? That's come down some. I don't love it, but I'll buy a stack of those, and then let's check on defense and fortitude. Let's check on the defense elixirs. It's going to be mixed with a lot of extra defense gear. Silk? I can do that off stream sometime. Elixir of greater defense. Defense. 29 silver. It's just too much. It's just too much. At that point, you could do Scroll of Protection. And it won't be quite as good, but 12 silver gets you... Oh, I can't use that one yet, but these ones, that's pretty good, and that's only 5 silver. So if I could get like a stack of... If I could get like 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that'll be some armor. Fortitude elixirs are usually really expensive. They have very expensive materials. Yeah, I can't. I'm not spending 44 silver. I would... I don't want to say I would rather die, but I would rather risk death than spend that much. So that'll do. I still have my 5 health pots. I've got some silk bandages on me right now. Boots? My boots are level... Yeah, Spirit Stam, level 24. Let's go check on those. Let's see if I can spring for some decent boots. I do want to save a bit of gold, though, because my next wand... I want to buy a blue wand for my next slot. I can use it starting at level... Let me see. Weapons, wand, search. Usable... Unusable. Filter by level. I want to get myself into a Starfaller if I can afford one by the time that I get to that bracket. I need 1 more level, and I'm going to need 5 gold. So I'm actually just going to stop shopping. I'm going to stop shopping. If I want to have any chance of being able to afford that. Hazel, I'm becoming a priest mate. Congrats, Scarlet. Hazel dies from being cheap. Nobody would have ever guessed. Listen, I've never died from being cheap. I have died from being brave. Well, yeah, I'm sticking with that. That's my story. I can make up my own truth. I was wearing all the files when I died the one time I've died in Classic so far, so I am contending that is sensationalist news. I'm going to throw on my new pants, and then I'm going to take my new armor kits. We're going to throw... These are 24 per piece, so it does add up, actually, once you've got it on 4 pieces. I'm going to do all 4 of them. You don't have a whole lot of armor as a clothy, so the armor kits actually do make a somewhat reasonable difference. And then my new chest piece, which is just 12 stamps straight to chest. I'm happy with that. I miss wearing robes. And I could have gotten a piece with the same... chest, legs, hands, feet. I could have had a piece with the same stats and in a robe form, but it would have cost me an extra like gold, and I decided that I couldn't countenance that. I couldn't spend that much on being beautiful. Especially when I can't take off the hat for a while anyways. So I'm just gonna walk around like I'm I don't even know. She's cosplaying some kind of a villain. Gambit time. Yeah, let me limit up the prediction. Actually, I'll do it on the flight path because I'm gonna flight path my way back to wetlands. I was gonna do a little bit more wetlands. Maybe the excavation site area quests, and then once I'm not having fun out there anymore, I'm going to get myself to Red Ridge to do some higher, maybe a little bit more Red Ridge stuff. I do need to end the stream at like 11:30 today instead of 12. So be forewarned of that. I can do 2.5 rather than 3 hours this morning, but I bet you we can get some stuff done in the meantime. I don't have any plans to do dungeons yet. Or ever, really. I have no plans to ever do any dungeons or raids in Classic Hardcore. If that ever changes, that'll be a headline. Promise. Feeds Hellgrave cat treat. Remember, you can hide hats and or cloaks in options. I forgot that. That's brilliant. Do I want... I do. The cloak I can live with. The cloak I can live with. The, The cloak I can live with. The hat's really... I miss my hair. I miss her hair. I think it's show. Uncheck to hide your character's helm. There we go. That's better. Why not? Because I don't want to. Leveling a rogue on retail, BFA Alliance questing, still good. They've got some great characters out there. Last I checked, and it could have changed, but last I checked, Mindflay was technically a bit better, or pardon me, Mind Spike was technically a bit better than Mindflay, but it wasn't so much better that if you hate it, you should do it, because if you hate it, then it's awful. It's awful if you're not having fun with it. But it did technically have a bit of an edge. Last I checked, which was like a while ago, beginning of the patch. Just thought of something. Eridar joined the Alliance. If they unlock any race to be any class, we're going to get Eridar Druids. I would be pretty surprised if they flipped the any race to be any class switch all at once. I think they would trickle them out, especially for something like Druids or like, you know, Demon Hunters or other classes that have very strong reasons why they're limited. You know, Evokers. Oh, Gnome Voker. Not just Gnome Visage, Gnome Voker. Just kick out the fire out of your little booties. So I found her bag from an ooze. She gives me a 10-slot bag, actually. I got a drop of a BOE 10-slot bag, and I sold it for like 90 silver, when you can buy 10-slot silk bags for like 30 something. But maybe somebody wanted a red one. Maybe it went with like a themed UI of some kind. Maybe it was really important that it was red. So, what am I wanting to do here? I want to get my Voidwalker. I have a quest to do the Fen Creepers, Dragonmaw Warbanners, which are starting to become safer, although I wouldn't describe them as safe. I think I'm going to mostly do Fen Creepers and then kind of look into the dig site. Maybe I should do the dig site first. Fen Creepers aren't dangerous. To me at this level, they're close to my level, but they're very isolated. They're not in like big dense camps. There's not a whole lot. They're stealthed, which is annoying, but there's not a whole lot that they're going to do that's going to surprise me and be a real problem. Get a little closer out there, and then we'll get a food buff and pop some things just to have our safety on. Did I not? I forgot to run the prediction here. Let me start that. Start a prediction. New one. Is today the day? Is today Azel's last day on Azeroth? Yes, no. Did you get your succubus? I have not done that yet. I still have the quest in my log. I made it I made it to Ashenvale, which is Baron's adjacent. And then I didn't go get it. I'm not in a big hurry, if we're being honest. My biggest thing that I want with the succubus is I would like to find out what the name is. I would like to find out what the Syed name is. I don't have big plans to use it, but you never know. Maybe there will be some situation where it's really important. Fen Creepers. Fen Creeper rare. Pats all around there. I have yet to have rare scanner alert me of any rares, and the day that it happens, it's going to jump scare the daylights out of me. Think it's good for drain tanking? Kitty, you comfy? You sleep okay? Got a cat in my lap, and I think she's staying put for a while. Fen Creepers are hard to find. Skipped this quest yesterday. Yeah, they like to sit in the pools, and they're stealthed until you get really close to them, which is just annoying more than anything. I want you to take that one. During the Crocolus quest, I had a great time with that one because people were really competing for all the Crocolus mobs along the road and through like the above land, and then I thought, I'm a warlock. I'm an underwater terror. And I water breathed myself, and I just dove into the harbor here. And Menethil Harbor is swarming with Crocolusks. Well, not swarming, like it's not dangerous, but it has plenty. It has the different level brackets that you need. You can even get the higher level Croc quest done there. And not only is nobody fighting me for the mobs, they're not on top of anything else. It was great. Anytime I can take advantage of water breathing and quest underwater, I've been trying to do that because it seems like there's usually fewer. Sometimes there are patrolling dangers. Sometimes there are higher level elite mobs that patrol underwater, so you do kind of got to watch your back, but it seems to me a little bit safer than being above land. As long as you can usually see farther for one. It seems a little bit safer. Sure, it's slow. Swimming's not particularly fast, but we're gonna do one of these, one of these, one of these. This is like kind of overkill, but it's hardcore. It's fine. And eat a nice food buff, yes? Eat a nice food buff. Crocodile gumbo. Swimming's super slow, but like, so is walking. It's not like I get anywhere in a hurry. Swimming does not feel that slow compared to just walking on land. Alright, let's go see if we can find another 11 fen creepers. I'm doing this first, apparently. This looks like a likely spot. That's a croc. Also, it's like a marked spawn point in Questy. Or like in the middle of the pool. They tend to be in water. Morning, afternoon. Good morning, Lily Meowinator. I hope you have a delightful, recharging lunch break. Oh, no, nothing. Nothing? Yeah, we can get some of these out of the way. I did the crude flint quest, is the one in the quest line before this, where you're farming mid-level gnolls for 9 drops of crude flint. And that drop rate was upsetting to myself and my family. I was out here for a long time last night, and I managed to like not get tempted into pulling any of the camps, even though they basically all had solid chests. I managed to not get baited into pulling more than was good for me. Oh, but wow, that was a lot of gnolls that we had to kill for that. Good grind for Rixby. And they drop cloth, which I managed to sell, and they drop greens, which I also managed to sell, plus I got that bag from that farm. So I came out pretty well in gold for it, which is good. I definitely want to keep getting valuable stuff today, because I would love to be able to, basically, if I could grind 1 level today, and then make like 1 to 2 gold. What is this ore? Is that tin? It's copper. Am I going to go for it anyways? I am. If I could grind like 1 to 2 gold today plus a level, which I think is pretty reasonable at this level, then I can start out my next play session with a, yeah, there's a fen creeper, with a nice juicy blue wand. I've never had a blue wand before, but we'll have to see. If there's only 2 left in the auction house, so if the price spikes, then I guess I'm out of the market. I did resell the pattern. I did. On the first posting too. Flabby made me feel better. He was telling me that the pattern is sold on a vendor in Winter Spring in like a 55-ish area. So a lot of people that are tailoring will not be at that level to go get that pattern. So even though it is a vendor flip pattern, it's not just a vendor that anybody can wander over to and get. So it is something that people actually buy. And they did. Elements of Classic you'd like to see back in retail? I don't know. I know it's a cop-out answer, but I don't know. I like a lot of elements of Classic, but I think it's such a different game from retail that picking and choosing things and then transplanting them over wouldn't necessarily work. I think a lot of things that I find peaceful and relaxing in Classic, that exact same thing would make me feel impatient and annoyed in the context of retail. I think they're just completely different animals, and I don't have a lot of good ideas about how to transpose the success of one to another one. The main thing I think that I'm really, really getting a kick out of from hardcore, not just Classic, but hardcore specifically, is I love leveling. I love leveling. And I love doing all of the little things leveling. Like, I love the excitement of getting the little gear upgrades and doing the lobby professions. And I don't like feeling like that's a waste of time or that I should just be rushing to endgame. And I also don't like the feeling of, well, I'm leveling alts. I'm just going to have more and more and more alts that I'm never really going to play because I don't want to play them in endgame. I just want to level them. And hardcore gives me like a reason. It gives a really good reason to have leveling be centered and be the journey. which is an excuse that I really wanted, because otherwise I do things like make a bunch of characters and level them and then delete them, and then people go, no, why have you done that? And I'm like, yeah, it is kind of weird, but like, what do I need with all these characters in my loading screen? If I delete them, I get to level more. So I guess if I was going to take something, it would be some kind of event or system or something that would incentivize leveling alts without the implication that you have to keep them and like have them stick around forever. Obviously not just like auto deleting characters once you get to endgame or something, but if I could like I've talked about this before, if I could level an alt to endgame and then like throw it into a volcano and then get like a little portrait of like them at level whatever it was that they got thrown into the volcano, and then get some kind of like sticker book for that. You know, people to some extent do this with guild achievements where they like one person will sometimes single-handedly do the stay classy achievement for guilds by leveling all the different race class combinations. And I think that's great, but that's just kind of like a, you know, that's somebody doing something that was originally meant to be done incidentally by a big group. Fen Creeper? Wetlands Crocolisk. Wetlands Crocolisk. I think if I really want, you know what I need to do? If I really want to get these Fen Creepers, I need to walk in the water and just zigzag through the marsh here and fight any crocs in the way, and just accept that I'm not going to walk very fast because I'm going to have wet feet and squishy socks. I hate squishy socks. Hi Hazel, hi chat. Hello. How are you? I love that there's an appropriate amount of quests in each zone. It's not like you at level a zone, there's still a bunch of leftover. Collect an achievement for alts would be cool. I could stand to just have like an archive folder for characters where I just like retire them, you know? I guess the archive folder is the deleted folder, because you could restore them out of that if you needed to. And I'm sure some people use it like that, but... Finally someone fighting green level mobs. Why? What's everybody else doing? This is my first time to these levels. I'm level 28. I've never been here before. This is my highest level hardcore character now. And I would love to not... I would love to make it farther than this. So I'm not going to tell you that I won't take any risks, but I'm trying not to take any big ones on purpose. Fighting yellow level mobs dying. Oh, we had a couple of high level deaths in the death log today. Level 26 warlock, 37 mage drowned in Wrathy Highlands. Really? Oh, that's brutal. Anytime I see a drowning death, I think, but I have unending breath. If I could have just buffed you, you would have lived. If I had just been there. If I had just been nearby in the area. It didn't have to be like this. Friends don't let friends go to Arathi. Flavie was telling me that he saw like 27s and 28s there. And in a group, but still, people are brave. 2 monster levels makes a big difference. Yeah. I say as I start fighting yellow crocs, but I also think that you can make a distinction between mobs in camps and mobs that are kind of spread out in the world where you're basically never going to get more than a double pull. It's good to have a relative idea of like how much you can handle of a given level type. Like single 26s, or even like a 27, 28, 29 are fine. As long as you're confident, you know, you can do over-level mobs if you're confident that you're not going to get anything else that aggroes at the same time, and if it doesn't have some kind of bizarre stun ability. That's about the farm. As long as you're aware of the density and respawn rate, you'll be fine. Yeah. I wonder, and I'm sure this is a question I could answer for myself if I used, Ujai was talking about having a weak aura. I think maybe from the Luxthos pack that did some quantification of your leveling pace based on how, you know, like how much experience you're getting and how often you're killing mobs and stuff. And you can certainly chain pull a little more and kill mobs faster when they're lower level. And then of course they give less experience. But I haven't mathed it out to find out what like the quote-unquote best farm for leveling is. Maybe because I'm just kind of not in that much of a hurry. I kind of don't want to know. Like, if I find a farm that I feel good about, I don't want my weak core to tell me that it's technically like 12% worse than this other place that I don't feel as good about. So I guess I'm not going to get it. How are we doing? 4 fen creepers. Happy with that. Sneaky gnome in the water. I'm quite happy now that I'm 28. I have all my points in Fell Domination and Master Summoner, which is the talent section that saved my bacon. Saved my vegan coconut-based bacon yesterday. Not that I'm vegan. I'm tired. I had a scary quest, and I don't think without Master Summoner I would have made it. We had a spicy sack of Void Walker and resummon one, and if it hadn't been like a nice fast cast like that, it would have been danger. Happy Sunday, Hazel and chat. Happy Sunday. Good farming spot, really effective. No dead time from traveling. It's pretty much most of what I see Flabby doing is just setting up. I think at a certain point with quests too, if you're not in a group, a lot of the middle and higher level quests are kind of bait. Like, they're sending you into really populated areas that are going to have really fast and unpredictable respawns. And it's not worth putting yourself in there. If you're not confident you're going to come back out, if you can find a better farm spot and just bypass those quest levels, you may as well. There's no, like, unless that's just really, really, really boring to you, but... I would love to get some greens to sell. Although, I am doing okay selling leather and stuff, too. And cloth. I can now sell any and all wool cloth that I get because I am into making silk bandages. So, any wool that I farm off of the gnolls. That was one thing that actually helped me out quite a bit yesterday, is I was, here, we can do we'll double pull those guys. We can, I was getting lots of wool cloth, and I sold all of it. Hazel, the gnome goblin. I don't know how good the Dream Surge experience is, but I don't know how fast it feels, I should say. It's an extra, 25% experience in the zone, just in general, so it seems like a decent idea to go at least do the world quests. Quest in that zone. Not touching Dream Surges till 70. I did mine this week, right? Yeah, I did my Dream Surge off stream. Do I want to go up and do those? I think so. We'll just take a look. Windmill looks scary. We'll just, look left and right before you cross the river. Everything will be fine. Also, I need to run around with a health stone, and I need 2 more soul shards. I do not like running around without 2 soul shards. 1 to replace my health stone if I use it, and another one to resummon my demon if I get it killed. Is it 50% more XP? It's pretty good. I had forgotten. There we go. Soul shard number 1. And soul shard number 2. I'm actually just going to stand on top of him, because my Void Walker is going to get trapped anyway. It is in the name. Okay, we have our 2 soul shards replaced. That is a copper vein. I can't believe... Oh, Fen Lords look like they summon ads. There's the ad. There's the pet. The pet, unfortunately, is not one that I need. I'm not diving for copper. Am I diving for copper? I'm not diving for copper. I would do it for tin. I would do it for tin. Let's curve back around this way, shall we? Null camp on the right. I'm surprised by how much copper there still is in the wetlands. This is like a... Maybe in the next level of zones you start getting like more exclusively tin. I guess you still use copper for quite a while in crafting professions, so it makes sense that you still get it for a long time. I'm still skinning light leather as well. I'm curious to see how the knolls in the top part of Redridge feel when I do get there, because on one hand, no, it's more copper. On one hand, people die there, and they die there a lot. And I've even seen like 27s dying there, so I don't think overleveling it's like the cure-all. But I don't know. I feel like we will overlevel it pretty substantially by the time we get there. And that was what managed to help me with the troll caves in Loch Modan. I eventually did all of the quests, including the boss quest, solo, because I just overleveled it enough at some point. Can't finish Lore Master. One of the quests is bugged. Still hasn't been fixed. Oh, that sucks. I need another 6 of these. Do we get anything good for doing this? There's a 9 spear robe, but we can vendor that sword for 26 silver, so that's pretty good. I was talking myself into doing, on my next character, which, mind you, the warlock doesn't have to die for me to make another one. I'm planning a priest at some point, just when I feel like I can't control the new alt itch anymore. Oh, there's another mob. When I can't control the new alt itch, I'm planning a priest. And I was gonna do tailoring and enchanting. And I think I've talked myself out of enchanting. Because it seems like such a gold sink. Even if you're making your own greens to disenchant with tailoring, the cloth value of what you put into those greens, and then the silver value that you're missing out on by not vendoring the greens, just seems astronomical to actually level the profession. You'd have to really make it back on wands, I think. I don't know, man. I started with tailoring and enchanting, and then I was like, well, what if I do tailoring herbalism and I just sell the herbs? And then I was like, well, what if I don't do tailoring? I keep talking myself out of crafting professions because other people are doing them. So if you have gathering, you can sell things and not have to train recipe values. Like, you don't have to pay the trainer. And then you also don't have to, you can buy the crafted stuff on the auction house. A lot of it is going to be basically posted at value because people are making it while leveling their profession. It's not like there's a huge markup for most of it. And a lot of it like gets outpaced by greens at some point anyway, that you can also get somewhat reasonably in the auction house if you keep an eye on it. So it just doesn't seem, worth it. It seems like all that gold you're putting into the profession could be put into just like buying the stuff you want from it. It is fun. And maybe I would do it for fun. I've never had enchants in Classic because you have to get enchants directly. You can't just like put them on a vellum and buy and sell and trade them. So I've never had them. But at this rate, maybe I never will. Only crafted profession that's worth is engineering. That's a Crocolisk. Is there any Fen Dweller here? These camps always have solid chests, and it's such bait. Even for, I could probably with these consumes, if I play my cards right, take a 4-pack. It's just not worth finding out. That chest is gonna have like a piece of bread and some cheese in it. It's not even lunchtime yet. There's a Fen Dweller, Fen Creeper. Enchanting's only working well with my partner and I wouldn't do it otherwise. Biggest issue is inventory space, inventory boss. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I can't decide. It might be a fun challenge to try, like, because I'm already doing the double gathering and selling for gold thing with this character, and it's working very well. I'm very happy with it. But maybe it would be a fun challenge to try the other way on a future character and then just make it work, you know? Fishing's nice to level cooking fast. I went big on that on my first character. But then on my second character, I've been getting a lot of recipes while questing, and then those foods tend to be buff foods. And the trouble with, and my cooking's leveling just fine without the fish. And the fish that you cook don't usually give you any kind of a buff. Sagefish can give you an MP5 buff, but there's not an awful lot of fish dishes, at least at the low levels, that give stam. Speaking of food, I'm out. I need to eat again. Try enchanting on a tune with your friend. Yeah, it's just like so much, like, the thing that really gets me is the vendor gold that you're losing for not, like, just vendoring the greens instead of eating them. I did sell the runecloth bag recipe. I did. Yeah. Yeah, it was a silly mistake. It was goofy. That's why we shouldn't do anything. At least it was just a gold mistake and not like a combat thing. That's why I shouldn't go anywhere too dangerous towards the end of the stream or on sleepy days. Friends don't let friends play classic when they're too tired. Or at least not do anything dangerous. I feel like there's always something pretty chill that you can get into doing. You just have to be willing to, like, sit back and just kind of grind for a bit. Enjoy alchemy though. Potions is fun. At some point I should pick up my hunter again. She has alchemy and she has herbalism. And I feel like some of the lower level alch recipes may now be profitable to craft because people have really caught on to how good using elixirs is. But on the other hand, the profitability of alchemy is probably driving up the cost of herbs, which means that if you wanted to just herb and then sell it, herbs that are used in those things, sometimes you can see the fen creepers just by the water disturbance. Herbs that are used in those particular things are going to be driven up on their own. I just like selling from Gathering Professions because it's so much nicer on bag space. The fact that I can completely clean out and empty my bags every time I go to the auction house, more or less, and not need to worry about, oh, I'm going to need this to craft with in a little bit later. It's just such a blessing. Such a quality of life improvement. Saw a YouTube video thumbnail today. Never start these quests with a picture of a goblin and some gnolls coming in. Didn't watch it. Suspicion which one that was. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. Never sounds aggressive. 3 more. People are welcome to do whatever they want with their own hunter pets. But I don't relate to people that don't name them. Even if the only name I can think of is dumb, I'll still just chuck it just to feel like I've got like my little story, you know, little personalization. What if they name their cat dog? That I am in favor of. That I approve. Agree. Anything? Fen creepers? No fen creepers? I'm the fen creeper. We only need 3 more. Hazel, help me decide. Discipline Priest or Dev Evoker next patch. Those are very different setups. Do you want a heal or do you want a DPS? That's a tough one. I usually, if I can't decide, I usually make my decision by guessing what the people I tend to play with would prefer, or like what they need. So like if there's a lot of healers already, I'm more inclined to pick a DPS spec, and if there is often like a healer gap in the group when they log on, then I'm more inclined to pick healer. And then if there's nobody to play with, I'm usually more inclined to pick DPS. Unless healer pugging all the time is doable, and you can certainly get into groups very fast, but I find that will wear you down over time. Main dev of the whole expect so far, but my guild has a healing spot open. Do you like healing? I think you should maybe go for it. Change is always fun. I think it's gonna help keep the expansion fresh. I'm also changing mains. Oh, there's one. It spawned. For the next season of Dragonflight. These changes are so cool. Healing to me, it's like a never-ending game of whack-a-mole. I must like whack-a-mole because I like healing, and I also really like Dispel the Thing or Ping the Thing games in Mythic Plus. I liked Explosive, I like Incorporeal, I like Afflicted. I like just having my mouse over button and having my job be, hey, click this thing whenever it comes up with that button, and then you can make the thingy go away, you know? Whether it's like just... Explosives admittedly were maybe a few too many. The whack-a-mole was a little bit too... hectic, frenetic, much. That is one thing that I don't get my fix of in Hardcore Classic. Not doing a whole lot of healing. Not doing a whole lot of healing. I guess my priest might do a little bit if I'm playing with Flabby. Why is your Voidy called Hellgrave and mine is called Charfog? Charfog! So unfair. Oh, man. Charfog sounds like barbecue. Maybe because of the char and because of the hog. Yeah, I won the Voidwalker name lottery. It was unreal. We just need one more Fen Creeper. And then we can go back and turn that into the guy. I wonder what's after this. I guess we'll find out. How are we doing? 4 bars in. I'm happy with that. My whole goal for the stream is basically just one level. If I can get to 29, I will be pleased with that. That'll be a new record for me. Every level she gets is a new record for her at this point. Thanks, Arthur. Thank you very much for the 16-month resub. Hi, Hazel. Hi, chat. Hello. How are you? I love Charfog. Oh, there's my last Fen Creeper. Yeah, I feel extra commitment to keep this warlock safe because of Hellgrave. If not for Azel, then for Hellgrave. Oh, I just looted a new Scroll of Protection. Also, I always forget whenever I'm buying those that they don't last for as long as elixirs. If you're going to compare a Scroll of Protection price to an elixir price, you have to multiply it by 2 because elixirs last an hour and scrolls last half an hour. But I've certainly never been 30 in any classic game ever, hardcore or otherwise, so it'll be kind of cool. 40 is like my real dream, though. Imagine having a mount after having roamed the land in your sockies for like 45 hours or whatever it's going to be. I could probably a lot more than that, actually. Use a scroll of my pet. Oh, that's smart. Getting the mount is the best feeling ever. Forget 60. Yeah, I think that'll be so cool. Which raid was it? Ice Crown Citadel. It was on Professor Putra's side. And I'm calling a moratorium on dredging up any more painful memories. That's your one for the day. That's it. To be fair, to this day, I still don't understand Professor Putra's side. I was way over my head. Alright, I am... Oh yeah, this sword, it's funny, this sword that I'm gonna vendor requires Herbalism 100 in order to wield. That's extremely funny to me. It's the Phyto Blade. Is that your last quest? Oh yeah, 2650. That's a decent chunk of experience. Okay, I'm gonna head towards the dig site. I'm gonna maybe poke at some Dragon Maw orcs very, very carefully. Very carefully. Because those do kill people and they should be around my level. But if I can pick off any individuals, then I will. Now that ICC releases soon, could go back and crush it. Yeah. And I don't really have any interest in that. In my head, canon Putricide was sent to Maldraxxus and is Marilith. Using mind games, don't know what it does. Functionally, for you, damage. In Shadowlands, the fine print was more important. But, yeah, basically it just does some damage. It's gonna make the target heal with their next attacks for a little bit. And if you used it on a target that it was about to heal, it would make them take damage from that heal. But practically for a Shadow Priest, 99% of the time, you're just kind of doing an extra little bit of damage. Curious as to how much Moose weighs now. My puppy's 4.5 months old, but over 40 pounds. Wow, that's a big puppy. Moose was 35 pounds last checked, but that was a little bit ago at the vet. I haven't weighed him recently. And that was at like 3 months and... it's not a competition. It's not a competition. What kind of puppy? What's puppy's name? How is puppy parenting? I feel a sense of solidarity with the fellow puppy owners because they understand. Oh, good morning, Hazel. Happy New Frontiers. Good morning, Punctuels. Thank you very much. How do we feel about this? Oh, that's bad. 168. 1 of 8 Dragon Ball Ribboners. I'm gonna not get baited into going too far up this road because I really wouldn't want more than... I could do a double. I would not want to do a triple. It would be a little bit sketchy. So we're just gonna grab this one and then move on with our day. This isn't who has the heaviest puppy in Canada? Oh, I'm out. Oh, Mr. Moose is so sweet. He's such a cuddly boy. I've got some family visiting from out of town for a couple of days. So we're going out and doing some touristy stuff and some stuff with Moose and some stuff leaving Moose at home for a little bit. And I got home last night and the baby he did fine. He didn't destroy anything while we were gone or anything, but he wanted the snuggles real bad. Are there Dragon Ball orcs around the graveyard? No, they're all up that hill. Okay. We're not going to worry about that then. We're going to go into the excavation site. I've got a couple of quests. Funnily enough, that escort quest for the absent-minded prospector in Darkshore actually has a follow-up out here in the wetlands. This 24 quest wants me to go get a thing from here. I don't know if they're going to make me bring it back to Darkshore. That would be rude. Bring me... Oh, no, in Menethil Harbor. Okay. Thought they were going to send me all the way back to Darnassus. They might eventually. A 3-stem dagger or 17 silver to vendor the axe. Oh, there's the Dragon Maw Raider. Hello. Excuse me, can I have your blade? Or your banner, pardon me. You can keep your blade. Her puppy name is Leia. Husky Golden Retriever mix. Maybe some Shepherd, not sure. Definitely a Husky with her attitude. Hard to parent a Husky. Yeah, they are. I've been in that. Not with. I mean, Moose is half Husky theoretically, also. So I know what you mean. But yeah, famously stubborn, and very much wanting to investigate their idea before your idea. I'm lucky with mine in that he is very much food motivated. So if you have the right treat, you can get him to come around to your way of thinking on most things. But you have to have the right treat at the right time, which is sometimes easier said than done. Hello, Hazel. How goes the adventure? Pretty good. I'm actually really pleased with how this is going right now. We're 28. I'm feeling pretty good about that. You know, knock on wood. Try not to jinx anything too much. So these guys do a net. Yeah, they do net. So you really wouldn't want to get in trouble with too many of these because you're not really going to run away very much. I do have Escape Artist. If I personally get netted, I can zip myself out of that in a 1-minute cooldown. But my Voidwalker cannot Escape Artist, and if he gets netted, then I am tanking, as we can see here. Luckily, I have more health than the Voidwalker, and I don't mind using it. Here we go. 3 of 8 banners. Is that good experience? What do we get for doing that? 2,300. Yeah, that'll be pretty good. Oh, that's cool. Questy, if I hold shift, Questy will actually show me the level of the mobs that you're fighting for that. That's neat. At least for that one. Yeah, the net showed in Bestiary. Hat on the icon, in the game you don't. I have my helmet hidden. I am wearing the hat. I hid it in the graphics options, and it is a bit curious that it doesn't reflect that in the icon. I could reload, but I'm afraid of orcs. Just go to training territory. We first got her. She couldn't care less about food. Didn't know what treats were. Oh. Hola. You're alive. Hello. Yeah. So far so good. Let's get a fresh food buff. I have lots of crockless meat too, so whenever I get back to town, I can restock on crockless gumbo. Didn't know you could do that. It was an option that eventually they took out of retail. Super not dead. It was an option that they eventually removed from retail because you could transmog hide things individually, so it was kind of redundant. But in Classic, it's in the settings. I completely forgot, though. Learn things is fun. Any DCs yet? I had a couple when I was in combat. So scary. No DCs. No DCs. I only... Oh, I don't want to talk too big of a game about it. I'm gonna... Ooh, these are a bit scary. Okay. I'm gonna get myself into trouble. But usually, if I'm disconnecting, it's a WoW server issue and not a personal internet issue. I'm lucky that I have I have fiber here in the city, and it's pretty reliable. If I ever move, that might change. I like it when I see people on the server hit level 60. It gives me hope. It can be done. It is possible. Not everybody falls to the deathlog. Just some people, including level 39. Ouchie. Ouchie, ouchie, boo-boo. Killed in the Swamp of Sorrows. Holy. Okay. I haven't been to the dig site in a long time. I'm gonna kind of walk up the hill. I think there might be quest givers up there, but we'll check it out. Got busy doing a water change. Didn't realize the time. I always have BFA as the dino expansion. Really, they've been in game from the start. I was a bit confused as to why they were digging up. I mean, maybe the point is that they were digging and then they Jurassic Parked it. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to any of these quests, but I was like, they're doing archaeology here and they're like carefully unearthing pottery and stuff. And there's actual dinosaurs just walking around and no one's, maybe they are worried about that. Maybe I should check. It's just funny to me that it's the dig site and they're just like under attack from raptors, and that's not the biggest headline. Surprised that my gnome couldn't speak Dwarvish at my level. However, did she get by? I wanted to see. Oh, I also want to be careful not to fall. You can die from that, and people do, and people have. This isn't a super red area, which doesn't mean that you won't die here, but oh, that's nerve-wracking. Why are you standing right there? Armor, please. Don't fall. Dwarf has a death wish. I'm picking up this quest from back here. I'm not going all the way out there.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, this is not a place to be. So that's a level 28 quest. It's good experience, but we're gonna try and take it a bit easy. Flagon Guts Fossil. Oh, it's right here. Dying tickles. Vanilla high elf models make me laugh. They're so abysmal. They're a bit jarring when you're used to seeing like the blood elf models and whatnot. I want to very carefully make my way down here and very carefully poke around the dig site. So this should be fun. We can definitely do Ormur's Revenge. That's just 20 raptors. I was farming those for leather before I even had the quest for it, so that's alright. This Uncovering the Past quest. That could maybe... We could maybe come back to that. There's gonna be golems and stuff in there. And, well, there's a thing right there. But if I pick it up, then I'm going to want to go get the rest of them because it's going to take bag space. Although I do have lots of bag space. I have 4 Runcloth bags. That's bruiseweed. I'm going to poke around a little bit. I'm just going to keep my eyes open to hazards. We won't dive in anywhere that seems super dense. But I don't... A lot of the hallmarks of, like, nasty respawns, you might see, like, corpses around a lot. Big parties of people. Big red death spot on the heat map. And I'm not really seeing any of that right now. I'm going to maybe just have a little look-see. Worst case scenario, I have a Swiftness Potions keybound, so I can, if needed, sack my Voidwalker, sprint in the opposite direction, and then even do like a Feldom summon a new Voidwalker with a pretty rapid cast time on short notice. That's not a problem. Because it looks like it's mostly raptors here. We'll just keep our eyes open. It's good leather. So they have infected wound. They can put up a disease. Which increases physical damage taken by an enemy. Probably lasts for years. Oh, so you know what? It's only 5 minutes. And physical damage taken increased by 6. Okay. We had a half-hour disease yesterday. It was brutal. Using these hardcore streams as a template for how to progress level in Wrath. Raptors ate the bodies. I guess bodies aren't always a good indicator of where the respawns are going to be spicy, especially if they're skinnable things. I'm certainly skinning mine, so. How much experience am I getting from these? 168. Yeah, you wouldn't really want to do more than 2. No, those are really trucking. I'm kind of just scouting around the perimeter a little bit here. Thinking of going enchanting, but then I remember the expert trainer in Ultimate. Is that really where it is? Holy. I don't know. I am like beholden to enchanters for wand upgrades. But aside from that, I don't know. It seems expensive. Lots of medium leather, which is good. I like that. I'm hitting this one with an agony instead of a recklessness to kind of see how that feels. Some mobs that run when they're afraid will run at like a reasonable rate, and then some mobs don't even get afraid. And then some mobs will get a little scared, and they tear off with the speed of 1,000 gazelles. Going to light the torches of Gondor. I want to loot that one. Orbitin GG, thank you very much for the brand new sub. Appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, I think we can do 29 today. It is Hazel, my pet battle guru. Hello. How are you? A new suffix for the Giga Hasted gear. 1,000 gazelles. I actually really like the gazelle pet model. It's one of my favorite just sort of critter battle pets. I tamed a gazelle hunter pet on one of my hunters that I leveled once upon a time. And I kind of miss that. Maybe I should get another one. I'm pretty sure I named it Penny. Planning on doing any risky dungeons? Just quest till 60? I have no plans to do any dungeons, risky or otherwise. I don't want to say I don't trust other people, but I don't trust other people. And I'm pretty happy to just like find a grind spot and just grind if I do run out of quests, so I'm not that bothered by gaps in the questing. We got 2, yeah, we still have 2 soul shards. Doing okay? Temperature changes upsetting my sinuses. Aw, that sucks. It's no good. I'm doing pretty good. I have a kitty cat on my lap. I have my favorite game. I have my nice comfy stream. I have a desire to spend like 2 days in a cabin somewhere, just like writing in journals and thinking about my life. I don't know if that's just like an autumn thing or what. Do I want that one? Let's heal up my woodwork a little bit first. I like that you can consume shadows even when it's sunny out. He finds his own shadows. There's a lot of mage oil over here. I think I'm gonna have to go into the dig site pits. I think I can't avoid them any longer. I was mousing over different likely looking things to try to figure out if I could see anything that I should be going for. And I wasn't getting any cogwheels, but maybe I'm just too far from them. Grouped up a few times in Classic. Okay to just do it for like a boss cave quest. Don't really enjoy it. Keep hearing about Griefers. Yeah. Yeah. I like playing solo. Or like with people that I know, you know. It's fun to, I enjoy like buffing other people that I come across in the world. And I like, you know, like if you see somebody doing kind of a spicy pull, I like stepping in to like kind of help finish off a mob, especially because it really is, it's, you know, you're not reducing their experience from it as far as I can tell, or like getting any loot from it, right? Because it's already gray to you, it's tagged. I like doing that whenever I can. But I don't know about like properly grouping. We're just keeping an eye for anything we can loot. And just also for any raptor respawns, because it's kind of a spicy area. I'm going to refood buff really early. If I can find my gumbo. There it is. Oh, thanks. Someone just got their track, their legendary. There's a echoing cry, or a cry echoing from the top of the seat of the aspects as Nesoro the Unbound Legacy is formed. Wow. Imagine that. Oh, is that tin? It is tin. Yeah, that's worth. Tin's a decent part of my gold supply. How's gearing the new priest going? Will any of that be done on stream? It's been not going because I've been playing hardcore instead. And I don't know if any of it will happen on stream. It's a valid question. I should be clear. It's a good question. I don't want to be dismissive. I just don't have any answers. Sometimes I ignore things that I shouldn't, but I do it anyways because I do. I wonder if there's a trick to the other 3 fragments. The first one was very easy to find. And it seems like there's just like spawn points for specific ones. I'm gonna poke around this little campy area. Maybe people loot them and they just need to respawn. One of those things. Feel bad that Hazel didn't get her evoker Lego. Ah, don't worry about it. You know what I got is a good excuse to play a gnome again. And I got to save however much gold I would have put into the Lego. Pally buffs in Classic should last 30 minutes. I don't know why they don't. Yeah, 5-minute buffs are a bit goofy. Even my water breathing is 10. I'm just like mousing over everything. You do have like a tiny little bit of a grace period when mobs first respawn before they start aggroing things, which I appreciate. I do have the gold to get the Lego, but this way I'll continue to have that gold and not have to spend it on the Lego. I'm usually pretty cheap about spending gold on temporary power upgrades because I know as well as anybody that patches come and go, time marches on, expansions come and go, levels get raised and raised and squished and raised and squished. Power within a given tier is very temporary, and I am super willing to put time into it, but I kind of hate putting big gold into it because I know it's not going to last forever. So for big gold sinks like that, I much prefer to get cosmetics or things that I know are going to persist between tiers. Because, you know, time flies. More efficient to sell the underwater breathing potion or fish oil? That's a good question. I don't know. It's brought my head with Shadowlands. Yeah. Yeah. I think I spent what I needed to for my main. I think it definitely put me off of gearing alts for a while, though. It's a good thing I'm happy with the experience I'm getting from these mobs, because I am certainly not happy with, like, there's... with the rate at which I'm finding artifacts, there's, like, thingies. And maybe I'm just missing them, but, like... I don't have a cogwheel. I don't have, like, a clicky. Excuse me, I can't click the button. I don't know how to play the game. You know? Hard to find. Are they tiny? The first one was huge. Or are they just like a really long respawn and people... Oh, there's one. People fight you for them. There's one. So 2 more. I'm just gonna mouse over everything. It's my only strategy. One's a dirt mound, another one's elevated. Okay. Okay, dirt mound. So I did the jar in the chest. And so I'm looking for dirt. How elevated are we talking here? There'll always be one of each. Okay. I'm looking for dirt. by where the mine was. Oh, okay. Sometimes I have a hard time parsing directions even when they're very clear. And I think today my capacity for doing that is even lower than normal. So I might seem a little bit difficult. But I'm just having a hard time understanding. Through no fault of your own. There must always be a Dirt King. Good news is that the raptors are a decent experience. Plus they're dropping, what, eggs? I need a raptor egg recipe. I need to cook them. Dirt is on the ramp to the cave where the NPCs are. Could be multiple spawn points. Okay. What is the other one? Do they talk about them in here? Search for them in ancient artifacts or where the soil is loose. Ooh, I got a green. I got some Battleforged Gauntlets of the Whale. Male Spirit Stam. I could probably sell those. Hello, Hazel and Hazel Taurus. Hello, Allison. Raptor egg recipe at the end of the chain. Oh, good. Okay. Well, we gotta stick it out then, because I don't want to vendor the raptor eggs. I have lots of them. I must anyway, right? How many do we have? 6. I also have a bunch of cracklets for gumbo. About to hire someone to help me get to 70. What if you just like pick a thing, like just world quests or just herbalism or something like that, and then you just kind of make a game of just doing that one thing. I find sometimes when I'm leveling in Dragonflight, I get very overwhelmed by there being too many different things that you can do. So maybe if you like narrowed down your options, it would feel more reasonable. Oh, to gear at 70. I see. Hello? You inspired me to shave all my hair off last week, and all I can say is thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you're happy with it. Me too. I sometimes live with a minor amount of fear that I'm going to inspire somebody to shave off all their hair, and they're going to have regrets. I hope that I inspire people to make changes if they want to, but also to think them through to make sure that they want them. But I certainly don't regret my haircut, so I'm glad you're happy too. It's comfy. That's tin. Yeah, I want the tin. Funnily enough, we only have 1 of 10. That'll be 2 of 10. All these raptors that were... You know what, actually? I wonder if there's a raptor follow-up quest. I wonder if I should go do the raptor quest first. Because if they put me on another quest to kill raptors in here, I guess I can always kill more of them. How does it feel to be a style role model? Strange. Bit weird. I don't... It's a bit odd. My online life and presence is very different from my real life and presence. And it's a bit odd to mentally reconcile the two sometimes. Seems like according to Wowhead comments, you are not the only one having trouble finding the things. Well, that kind of makes me feel better, actually. There's another one of those sneaky chests, so there's that one. We're 2 of 4. We're getting there. Oh, I can skin this too. How are my bag slots doing? We got 19 bag slots left. Bag space for days. Getting bored of my main. Thought about going back to the starter levels, doing all the baby quests I never did. It's not a terrible idea. How does it feel to be the most famous Canadian level 28 warlock? I feel like someone could probably argue that point. I'm sure a surprising amount of popular streamers are Canadian, just relative to population size. Canadians are like represented in WoW streamers, and I'm sure that one of the other hardcore streamers that's Canadian has leveled a warlock past 28. There must be somebody. I don't know if it was the tall or the short pot. I got one of them. I got a pot. We'll keep an eye out. I am the most famous Canadian streamer with a level 28 warlock with this cat. She's real sleepy. You can't see her right now. I think she's under the desk, but there's a kitty cat right here. Who else is Canadian? Only know one of the liquid ladies is. Venruki, Supatees, Snuts. I don't know. It's been a long time since I have become familiar with streamers. I haven't been around the category in a while. Voidwalker, certainly famous nationwide. Sloot. Is that one I need now? Lux those? We are going to get these one day. I'm getting a bit stubborn about it. I'm feeling stubborn Hazel kick in. How hard could it be to find a pile of dirt? Also, are you okay? You're level 28 too. You'll be okay. All right. This must be a horrible quest to do in a group because I bet you anything it's one of those things where each person needs to find and loot their own. Up on the hill. There must be a second one, because I'm still only 2 of 4 fragments as well. And people were saying there were dirt spawns down here. It's usually the last one I find. Love those quests. I'm just pleased with... Oh, I got a heavy hide. That must be money, right? Let me see. Heavy hide. 3 silver! That used to be like a big, like break point. Like a bottleneck for, excuse me, if you could take that, thank you. That used to be a big bottleneck for leatherworking. I wonder if just a lot of leatherworkers aren't up in that range. Every time someone loots one, the item moves. So you'd think that just kind of randomly wandering around is not a terrible strategy. I do want to use another one of these guys. And another one of these guys. And then just make sure I'm keeping my buff food rolling at least. WoW has been making looking for dirt fun for almost 20 years. Well, there's another tin vein. Maybe I'll try to get that and then see if I can get any artifacts on the way to it. Never know when you might get lucky. Good chance for Hellgrave to go build up some aggro anyway. Addy Bags is separating my items into categories. I think there is also Bagnon for Classic. This is just the one that I decided to try out. I don't usually like Mega Bags, but I can deal with this one with the different categories. Oh, that's an herb. That's a Briarthorn. It scared me. I thought that was one of the things that I needed. I'm just going to try and make sure that I don't get too tempted to book it if I do find any of them in a way that puts me in danger from the raptors, because I really don't want more than a double pull at most, and even a double pull I would want to pay, like, full attention to. Going back to an old LFR raids for Transmog? Man, the Eternal Palace is gorgeous. It's a beautiful raid. Man, old raids for Transmog is a project that can keep you busy for your whole life. I did a lot of that before Hardcore came out. I had no idea when they were talking about Hardcore that it would get me like this. People were asking me if I was going to play it for ages, and I was like, I don't know, maybe. And then they got me. So Questy has spawn points for these things. It looks like there's more people in the area now because these things are starting to spawn a little more quickly. They're trying to stay alive. I just don't want to go back up the hill yet because they can't both be back up the hill. I guess they could, but... Hellgrave. Hellgrave, if you could consume some shadows, thank you. Saw a video making the point that this is how Classic is supposed to feel. Lobby area is always full. Can buy low-level items at a high supply. See someone with a mount, it means something. Yeah, that's true. I think that's fair. I don't know if how it's supposed to be is like a... That seems more like a feel statement than a fact, which is fine. People can make feel statements and opinion pieces. I do it all the time. But I do think it makes it really fun to have this mechanic that seems to kind of load the bottom zones and keep them loaded. That's how it felt when we were all noobs in 05 and Wowhead didn't exist. I'm pretty sure in 05 I was busy playing Mirka Chase on Neopets. I didn't even play WoW yet. How it felt back then, I was an influx of new players and nobody knew what they were doing. I don't even know what the fourth thing that's not a dirt pile is supposed to look like. I'll go up the hill. I'll go poke around up the hill. I've got about another hour and 7 to level today. Because I gotta leave at 11:30. And I would love to get to 29, but sometimes things happen and sometimes things don't. I don't remember where that even turns in. Back in 05, too busy playing Toontown Club Penguin. I remember admiring the Mecha Striders near the starting zone of my no mage, thinking how cool it would be to have one. I guess my Warlock could get one if I could afford one. It's just a bit of a gold misuse. because I don't have to. My hunter, she can buy a mount if she gets to the right level. And it's going to be a Night Saber. And I think I want... On one hand, the silver one with the stripes looks the most like Kira. But I always liked the spotted one. Oh, the other hill. Oh. Well, now I'm lost then. I thought people were talking about buy the quest giver. Bought a dark striped saber for my priest today. In rat. Keep an eye out for raptors. should probably just leave and go do the raptor quest, but I'm getting stubborn apparently. I want the raptor egg recipe. Want to try other classes in Wrath too? Like what were paladins like back in the day? That's a good idea. Oh, level 24 warlock. Dead in the wetlands. It's a little too close to home. Well, if nothing else, at least we'll get a bunch of gold from all the medium leather. I'm carrying around almost 40 medium leather right now. Another 22 light leather. Oh, that's not nothing. Auto running right click steering? Yeah, I think mostly. I also have WASD as needed, but for kind of getting between places, yeah, I toggle on auto run. I keep it on a mouse button, so it's pretty handy. Close to hand, comfy to use, that kind of thing. Just like keeping my eyes glued on the ground. I'm just waiting for something to spawn. I think I'm just gonna have to get lucky. Maybe you look fast because you're so small. I always did like that about gnomes. They move at the same speed as everybody else, but because your legs are so small, you look like you're sprinting. Taurens always felt very slow to me on the flip side of that. Oh, there's a silver vein, but it's way up there, but it's a silver vein. All right, new project. Climb this hill. Try not to fall into the dragon maw orcs on the other side. I would, or the raptors on the other side. I would fall to death trying to mine silver. That's the very classic dwarven version of greed. Silver ore is really valuable, though. Famous last words. Oh boy, silver. I might not even get to it first. I don't know if I outranged it or if somebody else got it. It might not even be accessible from this side of the hill. We'll have to see. I'm still gonna climb the hill and poke around. Have a little look at it. Maybe I'll find a dirt pile up there or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the silver's gone. I'm pretty sure that is no longer present. Also, my food buff's gone. Also love Gnome Heroic Leap. They have a squeal. Any funny last words to type in before the fall? I'm not gonna. I'm very safe. I have, I was gonna say I have a parachute, but that's a lie. I have no parachutes. So. Oh, there is room up here. Pretty sure the silver is super gone, but. Boy, this seems high. Man, lots of people dying to fall damage today. Somebody yesterday in Deathlog had a last words that said, man, what's up with everyone dying to murlocs today? And it was in their deathlog, right? Like they had died, admittedly to a null and not a murloc, but it really made me, oh, it is still here. It really made me want to I mean, not die, but like, is that sketchy? It really made me want to, oh, there's Steel Bloom up here too. have a character die saying, man, what's up with everyone dying in Knowles today? This is my very first silver note. I've never mined one before. Rest in pieces. About 5 silver per. You know, that's pretty good. And 3 notes, quite a few. However, medium hides also sell for like 5 silver per. Hey chat, hey Hazel, hello. Over here, kind of retrace our steps back down. So that was something. I didn't find any artifacts up here, but we got some silver. About 15 silver worth of mats to sell. I think we'll be able to afford that one by 29 at this rate. If I can sell all this leather. I think I've got so much leather it's going to be worth. I'm just going to try and climb all of the nearby related hills though. Carefully. See if I can find anything. Quite a few on the Dead Mines exit. Favorite Deathlog last words I saw yesterday were help. It seems like there's a few spawn points for a few of these. And it also seems like it's... If it is true that there's always one up... Yeah, there's one. There's a... It's just that it's like been up here this whole time. And if you don't climb the ramp and... Or somebody doesn't climb the ramp and get it, it's never going to spawn in one of the easier spots, I guess. So if there is an annoying to get to spot where it tends to spawn, that's probably where it's going to be. If it is true that it's like an always have one up sort of situation. So that's what we mean by elevated. I wonder what the last fragment is then. Oh, Sorrel Tooth. Well, you've got a name, but you're not elite, so I'm just going to choose to not stress about it. If that's the mechanic, that is quite bad. Yeah, I don't know I couldn't confirm, but I would believe it based on this. Although maybe the dirt pile's never on ground level? I don't know. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. Yeah, there's the other one too. That's funny. They're both like up here. So, with that in mind... Oof. Bada bing, bada boom. Tall thin pot. Saw Bellygrub break away from 2 guards in Redridge and kill the questie. No! Oh man, Bellygrub strikes again. I see now that there's the tall thin pot now. It's just like sitting down there. So I want to get down basically. Because I don't think I can go back up. I dropped down here. I think I can probably, it's going to hurt a tiny bit, but yeah, it's just 5%. There's no big deal. Bellygrub's just bait. I killed him, not to flex or anything, but I killed him on like 2 levels below him. I soloed him with my Voidwalker and whatever. Twice, because the first time I actually didn't have the quest on me. I had not picked it up because the quest was too high level, and I was like, I'll come back to that later. And I just saw Bellygrub, and I'm like, I'm going to kill him. And then I realized that while, yes, I could kill him, I didn't have the quest. So I had to go back, get the quest, and then do it again. But I think other classes might have a harder time with it. That's a lot of leather. Careful. In Swamposaurus. I'm so scared of Horde guards. That's like my worst fear. It's totally my worst fear. Because I would trip on a guard and then just get obliterated before I can get out of there. I would. That sounds like such a me thing to do. So I've been just like very much trying to stay far away from any enemy camps in general. And then sometimes there's like enemy guards that just like patrol in random areas. And that's mean. supposed to enter Red Ridge at 19. Yeah. Red Ridge's level range is a little bit bait because it says it's like 15 to 25, or like there's mobs that are in kind of that range, but I don't feel like you really have any business being there until like 21 at least. And then of course going like north of town is even worse. I still haven't gone north of town. I'm saving those quests still. But I have a tendency to be overly cautious about where I'm choosing to quest, so I shouldn't questing location shame people that are just braver than me. It's your own character and you get to take it wherever you want. That's part of the game. Do you have the Voidwalker Sacrifice hotkeyed? Yes. I have all of his abilities hotkeyed. I play him like my own rotation. We have a go, we have a stop, we have taunt, we have AoE taunt, we have Consume Shadows over here, and we have Sacrifice over here. It came in super handy to sacrifice and resummon him yesterday during a dangerous quest. I didn't start out with this much pet management, but that is certainly where we have ended up. I need skinning training too. I'm skinning 213 now, but it's 4 gold 50 to get the skinning upgrade, and I'd rather save that gold for a wand right now. I wonder what the odds are that after I do these mottled and screecher raptors, if they're going to send me back out to do, to go do these raptors in here. Westfall's kind of the same too. Part of why both these zones are so deadly. People go under-leveled. It's, if you were just kind of playing the game and just kind of going where quests send you, then you're going to die at like level 12. And that's why I think a lot of people die at like level 12, is because the game sort of sends you into early Loch Modan and says, go fight these trogs, or it sends you into Westfall and says, go get this thing from Benny Blanco's house, it'll be fine. And solo at that level, like you're almost 100% dead unless you're crazy lucky. Or, you know, there happen to be other people around, but it's, you'd have to know enough to know that that's a trap. Which the game does not tell you on its own. It's something that's kind of like a community knowledge thing or like a context clues thing. Raid testing Thursday, Friday. So next session is next week, Thursday, Friday. No testing today. They don't usually do things on weekends. Like sometimes they'll open up normal over a weekend, but they don't usually do specific heroic bosses on weekends. Unless they're like really out of time. It'd be fun if the game told you it was a trap. I'm gonna make it back to this quest giver eventually. Excited for a Mirrored Trail? Yeah, it seems like an awesome raid. It seems like a really fun raid. Go there and do this. Also, you really shouldn't. The duck boss seems hilarious. It's a good council fight. It reminds me of the Shadowlands council fight where you were fighting the aspects. Mostly just because that was a council fight too and it was somewhat recently. Or not aspects, the leaders of the zones. That one had goofy little animals in it too. Not so much mechanics, but in energy. If these mobs would stop spawning on me, I could like leave. I'm just gonna dot them up and then skin. And you know what? Maybe we like kind of bring them over this way so we can slowly crab walk our way back to the quest giver. Hellgrave, are you good? Am I good? I'm not good. I'm gonna health stone and make another one, and I'm gonna have him consume shadows. No reason to be hanging out at half health here. Let's replace our health stone. Yes. My food buff ran out as well. Or replace the soul shard, rather. Totally forgot that was an encounter. Couldn't tell you the name of it either. I just remember the Winter Queen and a bunch of soul shapes parading across the room. Something about petting corgis for an achievement. Starsky, thank you very much for the brandy sub. Appreciate it. Freysky, maybe? Aw, thanks. I'm excited to finally turn this quest in. See what the follow-up wants. It can't possibly be worse than that. We were out there for ages. Although sometimes you just get to know a spot, you know, in Classic. At least it was decent grinding. I got a green. Because I'm carrying around 2, and I think I got... No, that one I need to vendor. That was my old one. That's my offhand. I need to get a main hand at some point. I've got some stuff to vendor. That's tin. Should I go back for it? I'm going back. I'm turning around. I think that just spawned. Because I was just over here. I would have noticed it. Yeah. We need that. We need that. Good gold. Good gold. I'm saving up for a wand. I really want to get a blue wand next level. If I can afford one off the auction house. We'll see. Even coarse stone. Like the tin sells, but the coarse stone you can usually get like 5 silver per as well. So it's just so value. Yeah, the bag recipe sold. I got my gold back. Turn this gnome around. Alright, I'm going to pay attention. Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall. If I was going to fall to death in the wetlands, this is probably where I would do it. Not that it's hard to not fall, you just have to pay attention. That's good. Yeah, I was pretty happy. I was pretty pleased with that. I bought some greens to wear so that I've got some decent gear on. I bet you could shield fall damage if you had to.
Well met.
What did we get? We got a silken mantle. I don't know. I was gonna say, is that an upgrade? Did I just get an upgrade? No, it's cool. It's 6 int 4 spirit though, and I'm wearing a 9 int mantle, so I'm just gonna stick with that. I was promised there would be a quest after this for raptor eggs. I guess it's oh, you know what? It's probably after the raptor killing quest. Of course it would be. I am going to sit myself up here, and I'm going to be right back. Okie dokie. Kitty cat. Kitty cat. I may have canned a quest giver cave. I don't think there's any mob spawns in here. Alright, what do we got? I wanted to go do the raptor quest because I really want the cooking recipe. So I'm going to top up my damage files. I'm going to rebuff, and we're going to very carefully walk ourselves back down to go farm some raptors. We are 60% of our way towards 29. I have a quest that I can turn in back in the wetlands that's going to offer me some decent experience. That's something. And then we can, I think, get the rest of the raptors on the way over there. Something like that. Oh, kitty, see you later. If you're leaving, I'm putting the heating pad on. It's chilly. Sweater season. Hey, Hazel. Shadow Priest. Very fun. Shadow Priest feels so alive and different than it did the last time that I mained it. I have a feeling that I was cursed with the mildest and most first world curse imaginable as a baby, which is that there's 2 components to this. One of them is that all of my favorite things on restaurant menus shall be discontinued after a period of 1 year. And the second is that all of the classes that I play will become much more fun after I've committed to maining something else. Every time I switch, the thing that I just left, like they fix all the problems that I had with it. I bet you anything by switching off of Evoker, they're going to do some crazy thing to like make the transmog situation better, or like the visage situation better, or like they're going to fix Soar so that you can do it without like, with all the same, I've done Evokers a favor in some way. I don't know how yet, but in some way I've done them a favor by switching off of it because they're going to make it better. And I cannot love anything on a menu too much, otherwise they will take it off the menu. I feel so incredibly overloaded on events and retail. Glaze over immediately. Have a knowledge or talent point to spend. Tap out. Yeah, I feel you on the event overload. I think, yeah, I feel you on that. This is kind of like a nice refreshing break from it where there's almost nothing going on and you're kind of making your own fun. And it's not that I don't like the events. I think they're great. And they're optional enough that you don't have to do them if you don't want to. But just being confronted with that much stuff going on your map and that many quests fighting for your attention is kind of atmospherically exhausting, even without you having to go and do any of them, you know? Especially when you're trying to, like, suss out which things are like, oh, I actually need to get this thing for, like, a power upgrade. Like, I need to get the catalyst unlocked versus this is going to be mostly for catch-up gear that I don't need anymore. It's just a lot to sift through. I could stand with them making the game simpler in terms of things to do in endgame, but that also might be selfish of me to say because I'm sure that there's players that don't really do raid, they don't really do PvP, they don't really do Mythic Plus, so that those events are the main bulk of their content, and they're probably, maybe not all of them, but I'm sure some of them are happy to have that many things to do, you know? I don't think it's fair for me to say that having a thing to do that I don't have to do stresses me out by it existing. And therefore I'd rather they not make it. That seems a bit of like a selfish take, so I get that problem, but I don't have any great solutions to it. Bane122, thank you for the 4-month resub. And Savalina, thanks for giving out a gift sub. Appreciate it, guys. Okay. They did mention in an interview that public events and evolving them was kind of an experiment that they really leaned in on in Dragonflight. So I wonder if after Dragonflight they would kind of like take the lessons they learned from public events, but then maybe not have them overlap so much. Have like one style of public event, maybe per patch, like per major tier basically. And because right now you've got a lot of them that all offer extremely close together brackets of gear, I think, which is part of the problem. I think it's just a little bit oversaturated. But also, I should be clear, these are like the most first world problems. It's not an actual, it's not keeping me up at night. I think they need to rethink world content. I think they've probably, like, they've done a lot of great things with world content, and I appreciate that they're taking it seriously. A lot of players will primarily engage with that, and it's great that there's a lot more to do. Plus that there's, like, a gearing progression system, plus that people can get tier sets through outdoor content via the catalyst over time. I think all of that's great. What do you think's faster? Argent tournament dailies? Spam the dungeon all day. I don't know. That's a question with a mathematically correct answer, and I have no idea. I did it via dailies. Wouldn't say that was fast. Trick is making the world content feel fun, not just for chasing rewards. Which is a really tricky thing to pursue. But I'm glad that they're smart people with backgrounds in game design and what makes games feel satisfying that can deal with it, because I don't know. It's not something I've ever gotten to the bottom of. I think there's always a reward. It's just that sometimes it's more or less obvious. I think that rewards can take more forms than just gold or gear. I think that, you know, social notoriety is a form of a reward, which is one of the things that hardcore does. I think that there's other forms. There's other forms of making something feel satisfying. And offering them will always have an upside and a downside. In hardcore, the downside is that if you die, you're dead, which could be potentially very frustrating. I think that without that danger, there wouldn't be the social notoriety of having made it to a higher level. But in hardcore, it works because people sign up for that from the get-go. I don't know. I want to plant flowers and water them. And then have bees visit. And then, well, that's it. That's what I want. I think I've done enough of these blue raptors. I need more purple raptors, pink ones. Yeah, being part of a raid is fun. Yeah, that's another good reward, is feeling needed and valuable to a group, and feeling like the skills and talent that you've worked to build in your given class is beneficial to other people. That's a very specific benefit that I get from WoW, and a reward that I chase in WoW, is that feeling like I can be of use to others. Yeah, there's lots of different things they can play with. It's great naming your Voidwalker. Why, thank you. Pink raptors? Pink raptors. Now I get why people decimate these all the time. I used to think, oh no, I did those ones. Screechers. Are the Screechers the blue ones? I don't know. I used to think people were just grinding these for like straight experience and leather, and I guess there's that too, but saw many awesome plants this week. It made me happy. Oh, nice. Like at a garden, on the street, garden center, at an event. The feeling needed in a group is huge for me. Why I chose to swap to Ogvoker immediately. My Shadow Bolt does 142 to 162 damage. It is a rank 5 Shadow Bolt. I just barely trained that. Yeah, we need the blue ones. We need 2 more of the blue ones. Sheesh, that's big. It costs 160 mana to cast, which is about 10% of my mana bar, which actually isn't that bad. I think I've got a juicy size mana bar currently, due to I've got a pretty juicy mana bar because of all of my intellect. Went to Banff National Park on Monday. Oh, that's awesome. That sounds like a beautiful trip. Grinding for the Traveler's Log is the only reason I play retail. Watching the threat. Time to swap them on this one. Threat plates is pretty key to my life. Threat plates is very helpful to me, and I appreciate it a lot. Copper? Why not silver? But we got all our raptors done, so we can go turn that into. Poor saucy pal, level 28. Drowned in the wetlands. If only I was there. I wonder if people will start, or if they could. I mean, I would never do this because I'm too antisocial, but offering local warlocks silver for underwater breathing buffs when you need one. Seeing a dark iron dwarf summon their drill on top of Skyreach Tower is something else. Water breathing pots are like 5 silver. Yeah, but if you don't have any with you and you're in the field. Plus, I would buff it. I mean, I would buff people for free, but I would also do it for like 1 silver, you know. I want to get back to the raptor turning guy. It's hard to just not stick around and skin everything. I have 72 medium leather. I'm so happy with that. Yeah, the raptors do call for help. That's exactly what they do. Level 28. Oh, kitty cat, you wanna come back? You gotta watch the pause when you pull the chair back. Hi, kitty. Huge. Thanks. You guys are juicing up my ego. It feels pretty good. It's fun to make more gold from just like vendoring stuff and quest greens and quest rewards and whatnot. Oh, we'll just go in a straight line. Pick up that one. And then when he pulls in the other ones... Actually, you can go pick up that one. I'll tank that one. You go get that one. I bring this over here and he can suffer and grab all three. I see the respawn. I just want to loot, you know, I want to skin them all. Let's get Helgrave's health back. Send him to go slap that one and throw like an Agni or something on it. Eh, maybe all the dots. Man, it only takes off 10% threat when I taunt. I need a new rank of Suffering soon. You get another one at 30. 30 is going to be my next rank of, or not Suffering, Torment, pardon me. Different angsty Voidwalker word. Yeah, it's not a taunt. It's totally misnamed. All the pet taunts aren't really taunts. They're just high threat moves. That's all they are. And as you get closer to being able to train another one, it counts for a lot less. This was a lot stronger when I was freshly level 20. But the nice thing is that you are typically in decent gear, tanky enough as a warlock to face tank for a bit if you need to. The trouble is if you're not wanding. Like, the trick is to face tank while wanding because there's no pushback from that. If you're trying to face tank and like Shadow Bolt, you're doomed. You're gonna have a bad time. Helgrave needs to work on their confidence. This was proven yesterday. I saved that that clip of that quest as a highlight. I watched it back yesterday after the fact, and I was surprised by how unconcerned I looked at the time while I was doing the quest. Because I remember finishing it and feeling my heart going like a hummingbird. But watching the video back, you wouldn't really know necessarily. I was not like freaking out. On the outside anyways. I was freaking out a bit on the inside. I have this warlock. I also have a level 26 hunter. And then I'm currently fighting down to the desire to start a priest. I've only had one death in hardcore so far, and it was on my first warlock that was level 15 when she died. Heard priest leveling a classic as well in city. Yeah, which I'm kind of excited about. I've been wanding up a storm on my warlock anyway, and my priest can even like spec into it, so I'm kind of excited to try that. I can't decide between a human and a dwarf priest though. I'm choosing purely based on visuals. I do like human priests. Eyes on screen while walking up on cliff. Oh, this guy again. I hate this guy. I want to life grip him over to the cave. Why are you standing right there? Don't get me wrong. It's... Oh, he pats too. Thank you. I just... Hang on. Hold up. Wait. I just yelled at him and then he moved. He can't... Excuse me. Oh, for heaven's sake. Yeah, that. It's unreasonable. I hate it. I hate it. Vertigo.
Here there.
Armor's Revenge. That probably wants me to do... Oh, yeah. Now they want me to do 10 of each of those raptors that I've killed probably 100 of already. But then after that, they probably want me to kill Sarloth. And that's probably going to give me the raptor egg thing. Is anybody a vendor in here? Probably not. That would be too lucky, right? Am I afraid of heights in real life? I would say the standard amount. I'm afraid of heights. The same way I feel like most people should be, unless they're adrenaline junkies. I don't have a phobia, but I don't love it, you know? I can look off the skywalk, but I'm not going to feel great about it. I get like an itchy feeling in my teeth, but I can, you know, it doesn't limit my life in any way. Alright, well, we have a lot more raptors to kill then, but my bags, they're brutal. What does drop the cheapest thing want me to drop? Rough stone. And then a peace bloom. We got 9 bag slots, though. At least the leather stacks to 20. Because I would really love to, I know I've got a couple quests to turn in, but I would really love to, get to 29 today. You would approach a ledge with a steep drop, no railing, about the same? Reasonable. I have to be a bit careful when I'm out hiking and fishing, because there are a lot of things that would be bad if you fell off of them, and they, generally speaking, don't have railings. And I'm not like a total mess, but I don't have the best balance. And I know that's like a novel protagonist thing to say, but I don't have the best balance. It's fine. I have 6 out of 10 balance. It's mostly, I think, just because I stop paying attention. I get distracted and I won't pay enough attention to how I'm supporting my weight, and I'll end up off balance that way. I think that's usually what happens to me. When I was a little kid, it was like an ear issues problem, because I had some pretty gnarly ear problems when I was really tiny, and I know that can also affect your balance, but I don't think I can blame that anymore. My ears are fine. Some hikes have scree. Loose rock freaks me out. Super dangerous. It's important to remember when outside about there being a variety of things that can kill you or seriously injure you, and have done so to people. But it's also important to make sure that you don't let it, you know, ruin everything. You just have to be careful, you know. Strange relationship with hikes, skydiving, fun, rock climbing, no. I got a little bit nervous about heights the handful of times I went to a rock climbing gym. Mostly just because I would get up the wall and then I would be like, I don't know how to get down. And it was just bouldering, so you weren't strapped in or anything. Down climbing's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But it was also really fun. I could have seen a world where if I lived like really close to a rock climbing gym, I could see a world where maybe I would go regularly. I don't know. I might be too cheap for that. I'm probably too cheap for that. Plus, it really obliterated my fingernails. It is bouldering and maintaining a manicure. Somewhat mutually exclusive. Crash mats in the floor. They do have crash mats in the floor. This doesn't completely preclude you from falling weirdly. if you are not experienced. It's particularly dangerous when you're brand new. I dismounted off the wall and had a hard time rolling onto your back like you're supposed to. And I folded a foot underneath me when jumping off the wall on one of my first or second trips there. And it took about a year for that to stop hurting. Like, it took about a year for that to feel right and normal again. And I'm sure that the older you get, the longer that kind of thing takes to fully heal. Which it was my own fault. I did dismount off the wall incorrectly. But sometimes it's tough to do things. And I don't know if I like the stakes being that high. Plus, when you go hiking outside, there's so many things to see. And there's fewer people. I'm a tiny bit of a gremlin. I'm more comfortable around fewer people than more people. Do a martial art that requires you to wear a bunch of protective equipment. I will say that bouldering was an awesome way to get like a really good workout and to really like strength train muscles that I didn't know I had without feeling like I was bored in the way that lifting kind of does, because nothing makes you use your muscles quite like the fear of falling. Or just the motivation of getting somewhere, right? Like it's your brain is so busy with the puzzle, you're not super concerned about how much energy you're exerting through any given muscle or how tired it feels at the time, because you're focused on a goal that's not just pick this thing up and put it down again another 25 times or whatever it is. That always was a better fit for my particular brain than the more structured forms of exercise. I always liked having a goal. The best shape I've ever been in has always been when I've had a walking commute, or like a similar, like, you know, person-powered commute to a regular work or school. I used to walk to school, and that would do it too, because that way you're getting that exercise every day, twice a day, because you got to get there and you got to get back. It's not something that you can be like, oh, I just don't feel like it today. You know, you're either gonna do it or you're gonna be late for work and lose your job. So you gotta go. I'm eating another food buff. You should try climbing huge rock walls without a rope, Hazel. I feel like there's a joke there I'm missing. It's either that or you just don't like me very much. Raptors respond too fast. I feel like it is impacted by other people in the area and how rapidly other people are killing mobs. I think there are hyper spawns to some extent. What am I doing? Tin. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Have I missed much? Raptor genocide? Not much else. We have killed a dramatic amount of raptors today for this quest. We were wandering around the dig site for a long time looking for some artifacts. We did eventually find them. And now I have picked up a follow-up quest. I should have just gone and done the other thing first. That's fine. I picked up a follow-up quest to have me kill another 20 raptors. So we are laying waste to the raptor population. Oh, free solo. Yeah. Oh, you gotta watch it. I saw that and I didn't really want to see it because I thought that a lot of it was going to be me sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see if he was going to fall and die, even though I figured that if he did, they probably wouldn't make that documentary at the time. And a lot of it is that. But it was very good. It was really good. That dude is something. True. Have you seen Miru? I think I have. I went on a bit of a kick of watching climbing films. Right around during the bouldering phase. I also watched something called 7 Peaks, 9 Peaks, something like that. It's a rock climber that summited like all of the world's highest mountains within like a summer or a year or something like that. 14 peaks. I forget the number of it. It was on Netflix. Don't feel bad about the raptors. I went to null genocide the moment I got consecration at level 20. Need to watch that too. Yeah, it was cool. Something about movies where people literally climb mountains are just fundamentally inspiring. It's an extremely classic example of watch somebody do something physically difficult and kind of sick, and then feel like maybe I can like meal prep today. Alongside those movies, The Alpinist was a really good one. I have a lot of raptor eggs too. I have 30 raptor eggs on me. I've got 6 bag slots, but I'm starting to get nervous. I don't need any more mottled razor maws. I need these. Oh, no, I don't. I just need the green raptors, not the blue ones. The green ones I feel like tend to be in the pits. Is that true? No, this one completely disproved my theory. But you can't wait to make 30 omelets out of these eggs once someone tells you how. Yeah. It'll be great for my cooking skill. Plus, I've got a bunch of crocolisk meat I can cook up too. Not just climbing mountains, people pushing their limits to do some sort of amazing goal they set for themselves. Yeah. I like watching biopics about really impressive people for that reason too. Anything that kind of gives me hope for the human condition. We've grown these raptors so long. I was going to say they've gone green, but I haven't actually leveled since I've come out here. I was 28 when I started. But we are now 28 and 79%. However, after I get this quest, I'm going to finish this quest. I'm going to find my raptors. Knock on wood. Turn it in. Head back to wetlands. Turn that one in. Hopefully those two together will get me... Actually, you know what? After these... they're going to want me to go kill Sarloth. I bet I can do that too. I checked in during my break, and it turns out I can stream a little longer today if we need to. Not like super overtime, but can go till noon. It's cozy staying in the wetlands this long, though. It's nice just kind of being in a zone for a while and feeling like you've really gotten everything that you can. You know, you've seen everything that's going to happen around an area. It's nice. 5 bag slots. Also, holy moly, do these green bags. Oh, hey, look, there's a brown dirt pile. I don't need it anymore. But it can spawn just, you know, in a reasonable, easy to get to area. You just need somebody to go loot it off the top of the hill. Squeezed everything out of these wetlands. You could say that we've wrung it out. Made my mage tailoring a champ. Gonna make bank on ones. Nice. Let me get back to me and report back and let me know how that goes. I'm on the fence about doing that with my priest. Just moist slits now. Three more. There's one. It. At least as much as is reasonable. There's an area up here that is bait. It's a bunch of like level 30 plus group quests. It's a big fat citadel of do not go in here. Tin. I need tin. We like tin. Oh, I got wisdom. Oh, not in hardcore, so my prices won't be inflated like yours. I see. Hardcore economy is so fascinating to me. It's so interesting the effects that a rule set like that has on the pricing of various different materials and items. People value things much differently than they do on retail. And then you can take into account like the level distribution being so much different and like the amount of like the sort of brackets of things that people both farm but also need, you know? You get into like higher levels and you don't have very much competition for farming those materials, so you can easily, you know, kind of like get a monopoly on super high level ore, for example, but who are you selling it to? Not very many people. I think that will change because I think over time you will have more and more people at a high level, but not like super, not as much as you might think, because there has to be some people that are kind of like me where they're going to get leveled and then they're going to be like, well, I did it, and they'll be done. I'm sure that I'm not the only person that's not going to, you know, raid forever. So there's only going to be so much demand on the top end for that. And over time, like, more and more people will get, you know, up there, but a lot of people just never will. Yeah, and even 60s die. A lot of dead 60s too. Sitting in an airport bar in Calgary. I'm the only one not wearing a cowboy hat at the bar, and I feel like I've walked into a sitcom. Does it make you feel like you wish you had a cowboy hat? Does indeed sound like Calgary. Go placidly. Thank you for the 9-month resub. Yeah, Angelica, I totally agree. That's exactly my plan too. It's all about the leveling for me. All right, here's our last green raptor. And this, as a yellow quest, should actually be worth, yeah, 2,200 experience for that. Never been a hat person. That's fair. I've certainly never had a cowboy hat. I'm pretty sure I had a fedora in 2006, though. I'm certain that I owned a mall fedora. Started wearing a hat this summer. Too hot for my short hair. That's fair. I have embraced sun hats and bucket hats this summer, and by hats I mean just the one. Wide brim hats that shade my head and face and ears and neck from the sun. Just makes it a lot nicer to do sun protection. Sunscreen's great, but you know what's easier than sunscreen is layers. And a floppy sun hat from Bagu, trying to get myself to wear more. I've lived here for 4 years, still don't get it. All the police wear them. I hadn't heard that people are clearing Nax bosses. That's really impressive. That's cool. I liked hats a lot better once I cut my hair because I found hats to be... One, I found that they would mess up my hair in a way that was kind of unpredictable and annoying. Like, I didn't want to get somewhere, take off my hat, and then have no idea what my hair looked like. And then secondly, I didn't want... Before I had very short hair, I didn't want to look as though I didn't have hair. So if my hair was up or something, and then I had a hat on, I had this desire to not look as though I didn't have hair, which is funny because then I later cut it extremely short or like all off. But at the time, that was like a concern of mine. Ormur's Revenge. Sarltooth's Talon, that's his name. And I know I can kill him because I've already killed him once. Thanks, Tooth, that's part of it for me. Yeah, so before I would wear, like if I would wear a hat, I would specifically like have my hair in a braid or like long or down or something like that. So there was still hair coming out from underneath the hat. Just so that it would be like visually apparent that I had hair. It was a very strange thing that I don't think is unique to me, but it's not something I can really justify. Bit odd. It's NPC really baiting players to fall down a mountain. Listen, that fedora at that time in '06 was like the height of feeling cool. It was pinstripe pants, fedoras, silk vests, very kind of like steampunk adjacent mall goth situation. You'd get your it was you'd wear neckties over t-shirts, Avril Lavigne style. It was a time. It was an era. You had to be there. Pinstripe pants are awesome still, I want. Yeah, Panic at the Disco had a cultural chokehold over my social group in high school. Did you also like mustaches? Mustaches got hot like 2 years later. It was like when I was in university that there was like mustache print on everything. And that I was kind of like, I didn't purchase or get any mustache print paraphernalia. I do remember all of the guys of my age group like trying to grow them, and no one really could. And that was, or at least they couldn't. It was a whole thing. Glad that Elephant, Raver, Wired Like Jeans coming back. Wore those exclusively for years. Rubber bracelets. Trying to figure out a good hat for me. Leaning towards an Australian style, not quite cowboy, enough brim to keep the sun off. The brim is key. The style is a very personal thing, but having the wide brim is super, super just practical and functional. I have just like an outdoorsy one that I will wear hiking and fishing that's just got like a nice wide brim and is ventilated, and it has like a chin strap to keep it on in the wind. And yeah, I look like I'm on a safari, but I'm not losing my hat in the wind and I'm not getting sunburned. Also, who's to say you can't look hot on a safari, you know? The Rar Dinosaur XD. Yeah, the very random phase was very hot when I was young. That was the peak of humor, was just to say something very off the cuff and like not related to anything. The more random, the better. And that was fun, but then it evolved into random and shocking, and that was less fun when it got like super edgy. It was not so good. Epic. My mom still says epic, and it's really cute. She'll call things epic fails, and I know exactly what she means. And I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure she must have gotten that from myself and my sister when we were in high school. That was kind of in the epic fail era. So Sarltooth spawns somewhere in this general area. Radical must have missed my area. I don't remember that one. Okay, we do have a double pull. Let's have him pick up both of them. We'll get a little extra thread on that one. And then we'll try and smoke this one down. Yeah, he can take 2 of those, but it's kind of dicey. Oh, why did I Agni that? That was a waste of global. I've also lost my food buff. If anybody wanted to feel stressed out. Here, Hellgrave consumes shadows. I'm gonna eat some gumbo. Some heavy leather, though. Up on the little hill? Oh, yeah, you're totally right. You're right. I had forgotten. Thank you. Not hate, just makes me think of that era. Radical missed your age. Yeah, that's probably true. I am 31. I had a beach school, so all the 80s terms stayed. Here's a question for anybody who is young and or knows young people in their lives. Do the kids still say cool, or have they completely replaced cool with different words? Is cool still cool? There he is. Yes, they do. Okay. Evergreen. If you could, like, bring that guy away from the edge a little bit. I don't want to go that close to the edge to loot it. Lit. Fire. I think that one's timeless. I enjoy that thematically, both lit and fire are kind of opposites of cool, and yet can mean the same thing. Actually, let's swap that out for an Agni. I don't want Sarltooth with recklessness. Increases his melee attack power. Elovart, thank you for the 2-month resub. Nice. I'm 21, I say cool. Not sure if I'm in a loop anymore. 48, he's cool all the time. Neato. Rad. I remember when Sick first happened, I thought it was really dumb, and I thought I would never say it because I was very, you know, growing up, it means like ill, which also later meant cool. But, you know, growing up, sick means, you know, not feeling good and or diseased, which was not a good thing. And then all of a sudden it means cool, and I was like, that one's stupid and I don't get it. I will never say that. And then enough time passes, and you know what? Culture gets the better of you. I do say sick. I don't know if I say ill. That would be a bit strange. Yeah, we did the illest quest in WoW lately. I just don't think that's me. Jinx. People in my office say right on. 18-year-old boy cousin says fire a lot. Girl cousin probably says cool more than anything else. That was me ironically saying yeet, and then I couldn't stop. YOLO's started as an ironic hate word for a lot of people. Not a hate word as in it meant anything hateful, but just people in my age group thought when YOLO started that it was extremely stupid, and would say it ironically to make fun of the people that were saying it genuinely, but then they started saying it genuinely. So there's the lesson, is that you can only ironically use things and reclaim them so long before you're just doing the same thing that you were making fun of in the first place. Unironically say bro and bra a lot now. I will occasionally, when speaking with my puppy dog, I will call him my guy, which is strange because I don't see that in any other context or with anyone else. But with Moose, sometimes it'll be like, well, I wouldn't eat that. Or what's a good context for that? It's usually when he's done something silly and I am telling him that he's being silly. I'll hit him with my guy. Do you tell him it's Wednesday? It's Wednesday, my guy. I think one of my top 5 words used is dude. Bro. I feel like bro has been kind of replaced with bud for me. I use bud and buddy a lot. In a not fully condescending, but not fully not condescending context. I don't know. Somewhere in the middle. My dude was a very 2016 thing I found. Buddy's great. Buddy is like, you know, puppy is buddy, because it's like, hey buddy, come on, let's go. And then buddy's also like, you know, someone does something silly in traffic and you're like, buddy, you're gonna die. If you keep driving like that, you're not gonna make it. I want better things for you. For condescending, I like, oh, a muffin. Oh, a muffin. We all need to start speaking like the Victorian era again. Am I gonna get to 29? I am if I don't fall off a cliff anyway. Let's use both eyes. Full attention on screen when turning in Ormer's quests.
Talk to me.
So he's got a wand, which is actually not a bad wand. It's only a little bit less damage than the one that I've got on now. 34.90 to vendor the wand. And then also my Curiously Tasty Omelet, which is more 6 stam food. I have lots of it. I didn't technically need it, but I've got lots of mats for them, so that's all good. And then I want to turn I want to run back to town, turn in there, and then look into wrapping up, I think. Because we've got... we turned in Ormer's Revenge. Sometimes Questy will continue to show a quest as tracked, even when you've already turned it in. Seems to be just a bit of a Questy issue. Back in the Great Depression, we used bub. I never understood Bubba as a term for babies until I had a baby doggy, and then sometimes he becomes Bubba or Bubs when he's being like real like squishy and cute and like tired. It's like, oh, bub. I think sometimes I try to say bud and then I just misspeak and then I commit to it. Commit to y'all being a very useful creation. There's no other term in English for a second person pronoun. Canadian side of the family call our grandmother Bubba. I love how many different words for grandparents are useful and used in within like single families in same places. Like to some extent it's regional, and I think part of it is because especially in a country like Canada, a lot of people's grandparents will have been either like first generation immigrants or directly immigrants themselves. So you'll get grandparent words from all kinds of different countries, but also sometimes there's just like random variants that are just there. And at least in my family, it was useful because when my nephew was born, the various grandparents kind of picked out different words so that it wouldn't be like Grandma 1 and Grandma 2 or Grandma name. It would have, you know, my nephew has various different words that all mean Grandma, but, you know, for the different grandparents involved. We really do make it to 29 today. The hardest thing for my boomer brain is getting called dude by my also boomer girlfriend. I think I'm going to get my last point in Fel Stamina before I start putting points into Unholy Power. Just to not have 4 out of 5 talents here. It's 3% extra health for Helgrave. And I think that that's useful. I do want to start cranking his damage. But I just feel like I want to spend that point. Besides, if I get to high levels and I have like real regrets about how I've spent points, I can always reset it. It's not free, but it is possible. I think I've also slowly passed into using the word Riz unironically now. That's a new one to me. What does that mean? Is it a verb? Charisma? Like game good at flirting. Oh. Charisma. Huh. I had never ever heard that before. I learned something today. Is it usually used in the context of flirting, or could it also mean charisma in other contexts? Like the Wizard of... I see. Exclusively flirting. Gotcha.
How are ya?
I'm amazed by how many of you have heard this. Holy moly. Who'd win in a pillow fight between Alanis Morissette and Avril Lavigne? I don't know why my initial instinct is to side with Alanis. Delulu picking up now too. Don't feel too bad. Never once heard Riz till just now. I don't know if I can blame that on my age or just being very isolated from dating circles. I have so many things to sell. All right, we've got a quest to turn in. I believe upstairs. Yeah, here he is.
What can I do for you?
And we're gonna take this one.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Although, at some point I could probably look into buying a dagger just so I can use that offhand once I'm level 30. I'm carrying around an offhand. Hey, look, it's, I'm on. And I'm level 29. I'm a little afraid he's gonna, like, start throwing down. Kids come up with the darndest things. Still don't quite know what based means. I have, like, a vague idea based on context. For the meaning that you mean. But I couldn't tell you how they got there. I'm assuming it's not to do with acidity. Tell us your guess. I mean, the acidity, the pH thing was my only argument. That's all I got. As for why something might be based. I'm... Baseball? Can't be baseball. I don't know, man. Alright, I need hot spices. I need like another 20... How many? 10, 20, 30, 40... We got cooking to do. Did I learn that recipe yet? I haven't learned it yet. Look at all this leather I can sell. I approve because of the chemistry reference. There we go. I can make 42 curiously tasty omelets and then also 50 Crocolus gumbo. I have a feeling we're not going to need that many, but that's all right. New slang word, spicy. I use spicy a lot. I like that. Useful, descriptive. Feels like a cute way to say things sometimes. Spicy's played out. Oh, I like that one. Spicy's great. We spicy at work a lot. Dead player of the inn? I hope not. I didn't see. Yes. Corpse of I loved MT Vape. I loved MTV Ape. I don't get it. I'm almost 40 to be spicy as I want. Yeah, I wonder what happened. I like how we auto-vendored all the trash and we still had like only 8 bag slots left from full rune cloth bags just because of all of this, all these mats. Maybe a duel? Can you duel inside of buildings? I'm over 40 and I like basil and garlic. Basil and garlic are great. Mount Vape is vape juice, imagine that. Oh, I see. I gotcha. Alright, well, this has been wonderful. I will be back, not tomorrow and not Tuesday, but Wednesday, as per my typical schedule. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate the company. I will pay out the predictions thanks to all the believers. Appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.